This week, Loan Depot's adding 59 producers, okay? And top three gainers, Loan Depot, All Western Mortgage, Cross Country Mortgage. Oh, Cross Country, not number one. I know. And then losers, Mason McDuffie. However, Mason McDuffie, they sold to, oh gosh, now I'm going to forget who bought them. Someone bought them. New Res, -9 loan officers. I'm curious if some of these loan officers who New Res sold their residential group to, uh, Synergy One's acquired by American Pacific Mortgage. Maybe don't we want to be a part of that? You got to stick around if you want to see who some of these people are, because these are the estimates based on the average production per loan officer, what this impact could have on the organization. However, there's some nuances to this, okay? Guild Mortgage, technically Guild Mortgage, the first, like, I'd be curious to see if this number is actually, because Guild Mortgage does have a high average loan amount per loan officer. So stick around if you want to get into this. Then we're going to be moving on to brokers. So number one, West Capital Lending, adding eight producing loan officers. That's what it's estimated to be. West Capital Lending does a lot of home equity line of credit business, HELOCs. Barrett Financial, adding 6 loan officers, and then tied for number 5, Go Rascal. I think we did Loan Factory not that long ago, so we're going to look at Go Rascal, and then losers. So we have Mega Capital Funding. And I've said this like week over week. Remember, this is the net loss. So the mortgage data that we currently get, shout out to Redder, because Redder is actually where I get all of this amazing, beautiful data, and I download it like from the companies. I'm actually going to post a video probably with this, along with this. Maybe I throw it in the middle, how I did this, and post it separately later. But I download this data, separating each by company, and now I vibe coded. It's not really vibe coded. I created my own platform, my own business website. I host it myself, and all these tools and everything in it I built for my clients. So it's interesting. I think that some of the things that we can do these days that we don't need companies for. However, it's a distraction. So just a word of warning there. So brokers, we're going to get through them. Brokers just don't lose as many people on a weekly basis. Remember, net loss. And then Vima and Denali. And I'm not even going to, I'll show you real quick. And it's on the Ascendant Partners website, but not really getting into banks or credit unions, because banks and credit unions don't operate like mortgage IMBs or brokers, because they have purchase-based books of business. So let's get into it. Starting at number 1, Loan Depot. So this is the past year. Darn it. I need to open this, and I'm going to have to refresh all these windows actually as I load them. But that'll be good. You get to see it, what the last year is before we switch it to week. So Loan Depot did have an okay week, but they do a lot of home equity line of credit, refinance business. So adding 97 loan officers in just the last week, $204 million, losing 17 for 84 million. Okay. Let's see. So producer going to guaranteed rate. Is there any trends? I like to just click this. Okay. So some people going to Agave, and then a bunch of, honestly, I think they let these people go. I think that they just probably let a lot of those other people go. Like Lakeview Loan Servicing, this loan officer probably it does leads. So they're not, and that's a servicing company. So anyway, but losing 17 loan officers. So broker, rate, and broker. I think I actually accidentally just misspoke, by the way, so I'll call myself out. I said that they lost this person to rate. No, this person came from rate to Loan Depot. So good week for Loan Depot, net adding 80 loan officers, 120 million. Again, some of those people, call centers. So if you want to dive into the rabbit hole, get a Redder account or a Model Match account or a Modex account. There's others, Ingenious, and dive into it. But this is my way of helping guide. Like this is a compass, right? This is a compass to kind of show you what is happening. Why is it happening? Now we'll dissect it a little bit more every single week. So number 2 gainer for IMBs this week is All Western Mortgage. So All Western Mortgage has grown $1 billion over the last year. But if we refresh this to the last week, adding 23 loan officers for $230 million of annualized production. What were we forecasting? What was the forecast? Forecast was 107 million, and no, it's more than that. Here, I'll close them as we kind of go through here so I don't end up opening duplicates. Oh, Mason McDuffie. So one of the biggest losers is their gain, right? Their loss is their gain. And yeah, great week for all Western Mortgage, adding net gain 23 loan officers, $229 million annualized production. One quick thing that, oh, you know what? I got to duplicate the window because I don't want to ruin where we are. is we can, in the all company view, this is the premium version, so you can't actually access this unless you pay for it. This isn't even available to you yet, honestly, is the chart version of this. If I just come here and I just look at, so all Western, they've been growing pretty consistently. And they actually have a badge on here, right? They have a badge for, I think they're on a 6-week gain trend. So the last 6 weeks, they've added loan officers net add every single week. So great week for All Western Mortgage. Coming in at number 2, gainer for IMBs, we have Cross Country Mortgage. So grown a lot, $8 billion. They've acquired a lot of companies in the last year, 12 months. Summit Funding. Gosh, there's so many now. I'm forgetting some of the names. It's blending together. So net gain of 20 loan officers, $118 million annualized production. Look at that swing, though. Like, in 1 week, they added 46 loan officers for $400 million. What do we do? How did I open an extra window and I can't go backward? Oh, I went backward. I meant to go forward. Glitch. Apologies. You're gonna have to wait with me now. So who came and who left? And they lost 26 loan officers for $277 billion. Okay. Oh, UMortgage. So UMortgage losing. So UMortgage announced, I think it was last week or even this week, right? That they're merging with Nexa bought them. So obviously somebody not wanting to be a part of that. UMortgage is probably going to be a loser actually for brokers this week. And it may not reflect it in the loan officer change, but in the production change. That's worth taking note. So Cross Country getting a bunch of Guild Mortgage people. Oh, and Guild is one of the biggest losers for this week. So there you go. That's another one. Oh, there's a couple of UMortgage people. One bigger producer, another 10 million, 5 million. All right. So those are our top 3 gainers on IMB side. Let's look at the losers. So I already told you at the beginning how some of these things would shake out because Mason McDuffie got bought. And I mean, it could be license changes. So we'll look at it and see why. But in the last week, they lost 26 loan officers for $215 million of annualized production. It was Envoy. So, okay. So that's what it's, I guess, partially true. So Envoy bought Mason McDuffie. And so those are license changes. These are people transitioning their licenses, just switching to the new company. But honestly, more production left them to All Western. So a group left Mason McDuffie or is not going to be a part of the Envoy transition, and they're going to All Western Mortgage. So interesting right there. It's not as big as you can see from the data, so still not good for Envoy, right? As one of the biggest losers for this week. So next up, we have number 2, loser. So New Res sold their residential group. And I'm just curious if these people are going to the new company. I don't think their licenses have to change. So we're going to open this and see. Okay, so they're inactive. I have a feeling that that's actually, those are their call center people, right? Because they have a large, huge book of servicing. So they do mostly refinance business and they do some purchase business. But this is actually not true. So they're not really the biggest loser because they're not in the game anymore. All right. So Guild Mortgage, actually over the last 12 months, I didn't notice that. Maybe it's newer, but they're losing almost 200 million. But if we look over the last week, yes. So they've lost 12 loan officers, net loss of 12 loan officers in the last week for $76 million annualized production. They gained a handful of people, but who they lose? Well, we know that a group went to Cross Country Mortgage. Is there anyone else? No. So the main part of this is the group that went to Cross Country Mortgage. So, and last week, Guild Mortgage losing a sizable group there. But let's quickly add, because we're not counting New Res, so we have to find, so Champions Lending, that is they're a broke wholesaler, right? Champions? I don't think they count. Stockton Mortgage. So that would be the next biggest loser. Who's the biggest amount actually? So Stonehaven Mortgage, I don't know who that is. Champions Lending, yeah, they're wholesaler. I believe they're probably a wholesaler too. So New Era Lending, it's either Movement or Stockton. We're gonna look at Stockton because they're just higher on that list. So we're gonna look at Stockton really quickly here before we switch to brokers. So we're going to find this new company, and I'm stalling basically. Just talking right now to fill the void. Did you notice? So not a good week for Stockton. Is that what we projected as well? 49 million. Yeah, not actually as bad. So net loss of 7 loan officers for 29 million, and they're all inactive. So, I mean, I wouldn't, these are not producer, or they could be leaving together actually, now that I look at it. They're inactive, which means they all maybe resigned at the same time and they're all going to their landing place together. So coming in at number 1 for brokers, gainers for the last week is West Capital Lending. So net gain of 16 loan officers, $168 million. So adding 25 for 245, losing 9 for 77. So West Capital Lending does a lot of home equity line of credit business and refi business, and you can see they're bringing in people. So New Vision looks like they're attracting. Let's switch that real quick so we can see some Loan Depot people. They do a lot of leads. So most of the people usually coming in are lead based, but also I know a lot of purchase based originators at West Capital Lending. So great week for West Capital Lending, although with a grain of salt, there's a lot of people who buy leads or do leads. So they don't have purchase based books of business, but that's okay. Number 2, gainer for this week on the broker side, Barrett Financial. So Barrett adding 19 loan officers for 83 million, losing 8 for 35. So adding 11 net gain for $47 million or $48 million annualized production. Let's see if there's any kind of trend happening right here. So so that's eMortgage. Wasn't there UMortgage? Okay, no. So there's some better producers coming from one from cross country. Okay, so a cross country person leaving, and that's the only $10 million plus producer. $10 million, I say it every week. It's an indicator of like how well is somebody doing at attracting good talent, or why are they losing good talent? So losing two $10 million plus producers are both of those brokers, maybe? To other brokers. So a lot of brokers switch to other brokers more commonly than now going back to IMBs currently. So um, good week for Barrett Financial, right? Adding 47 million. And coming in at number 3, gainer this week for brokers, we have Go Rascal. So Go Rascal, don't usually see them on the net gainer side. I am going to switch quickly to year so we can see that. They're up $800 million in the last 12 months. And let's see who they brought in. They lost one non-producer. So from another broker, like I just said, Loan Factory, Cornerstone, that's an IMB. Vision One, IMB, National Mortgages, that's probably a broker, but those are the producers, right? So some good producers coming in from other brokers into Go Rascal. Go Rascal offers like a flat fee. So they're one of the companies doing like a flat fee. And they are correspondent, I believe, right? So if we scroll down and we look at, yes. So they broker most of their business actually, and they do correspondent. You can see right here. So they have their own warehouse lines and they do correspondent, meaning the only thing they don't do is the underwriting. The underwriting is done by the company that's going to be buying the loan. So great week for Go Rascal. Losers on the broker side this past week. Mega Capital Funding, big loser. So losing 11 people, $165 million annualized production. Where'd you go? So it's basically a handful of people. And they all went someplace else. Interesting. So two $23 million producers, and then $118 million producer, Gold Capital Lending. Maybe they started their own brokerage. I don't know who these people are, but not a good week for Mega Capital Funding. Biggest loser. Viva Mortgage lost 3 loan officers, $7 million. That's kind of flat, to be honest. So we could kind of skip them. Denali Home Loans, I do not know who this is, but they do a ton of leads. So for that reason, I don't know if like, is this person? Oh, they went to West Capital Lending. I have a feeling this person is doing leads. And you can see this is the rabbit hole we're going to chase for the day. Yes, 100% HELOC and refinance business. Probably no realtor loyalty. Yep. So they're buying leads. I don't know if we really want to count that. I don't really count that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Just going to say this is the data. Don't be mad at the messenger. So I would honestly say they're flat too. So I want to add like a bonus, and Click and Close lost 2 people, but only for 10 million. So the real part and inactive. So we don't know where this person even went yet, right? They could have been let go or they're in transition and their license is transferring. So every single week I update this and I release it to you guys. So that way you can see what are the items of note and merit, right? At the end of the day, we still have to do our due diligence because we want to know who is going where and why. And the data just helps us to make more informed decisions. So I appreciate you. If you made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe so you get the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.